And now, because my Cardinals took care of business on Sunday, it's time to have Jody Jackson. E.D. Marshall Jewelers brings you the smiling Jody Jackson, knows all, tells all around the Cardinals and other stuff going on in Valley sports as well. Were you pleasantly surprised, or is like, come on, Brad, it's New England. This is what was supposed to happen?
Well, smiling, it is a victory Monday. We're getting closer and closer to the holidays, and the Cardinals, while it doesn't look good at all, have a very, very slim chance. They're still alive technically in the playoff hunt with their win over the Patriots. You know, Brad, this was a weird game. We saw early in the game, you saw both sides. You saw bad snaps.
Yeah.
You saw on the Cardinal side some direct snaps. You saw a big man touchdown. You know, the saying is it's better to be lucky than good. I think they were very lucky. I think they were good. They weren't great, and they came away with this win. The first touchdown, you're looking, one of my things to check off a box in this week's game was checking off those red zone woes, right? Whether it's, maybe hopefully they were going to fend off a big time Patriots rush, get more space in the secondary, whatever it was going to be. I was looking for easier path to a touchdown. Well, it ended up being a Greg Dortch fumble that Jonah Williams pounced on. But I was impressed later in the game when James Conner and Trey McBride took over two drives in the fourth quarter where they were able to lengthen their lead to 30-10. Defense gave up some points late. So look, they're 7-7, which is really improved from last year. But could it have been a better win? Sure.
I was interested in the broadcast of how much was being made and mentioned about how Marvin Harrison Jr. has yet to show the separation. It's been picked up here a little bit, but Jody, you know how it is when the announcers go in and they have their meetings with the people from the team and the coaching staff. Somewhere along the way, it's getting out there that we're not really seeing everything we thought we'd see out of Marvin Harrison Jr. On the touchdown pass that should have been caught, that Christian Gonzalez broke up, Jay Feely went out of his way to say that was a perfectly thrown, beautiful ball right where it's supposed to be by Kyler Murray, defending him. Got to catch that ball. I'm just looking at these next 3 weeks saying, do we need to get answers about this quarterback wide receiver connection? I don't want to turn this into every week. What's Kyler's future going to be? But we're at that point where jobs are going to be on the line. And I would say that tandem has yet to show that they've got it all figured out.
Well, I think yesterday, I mean, there was the one pass. You're right. The one, and I actually talked to Jay. I saw Jay walking through. I guess it must have been at halftime, and I said, "Did he have to just go up and get that?" And yeah, he talked about high pointing the ball. And the thing that you're not seeing, it's two things. It's generalized separation that can be fixed by either. It could be two things, right, Brad? It can be speed, or it can be I also have the pleasure of sitting next to Roy Green, Cardinals great, the Jet. I know you know Roy. I mean, he's sitting next to me and I get to talk ball with him all during the game, and it's especially fun talking about wide receivers. And the other thing is route running. Is there somewhere along the line, if you're just, again in college, you just run that route, you go out wide. But in the pros, are you moving? Is there a little stutter step? Is there a little something? Is there any something there that can derail that guy covering you, but yet keep you on track? And that's the thing is I don't think he's confident he's looking to, as he should be in the spot for Kyler Murray. That's number one. So now what has to happen is I think you're right though, Brad. And look, I think he's going to be a good receiver in this league. How good is he going to be? I don't know. And so with Marvin, I think there are techniques that he's learning about how to be in position to win those battles. But you could see it yesterday, he's not quite there yet. And the ball's not gonna. Here's the other thing, on the other ball, it's like could Murray have put a little more air under it?
Sure.
Look, I think Kyler Murray did. I have no critique on Kyler Murray to Marvin Harrison yesterday. I thought a lot of those balls were very well thrown. He threw a really good ball to Trey McBride late. I mean, Kyler Murray is still pretty good with the ball. With Kyler, it's all up here. It's all the decision making and the panic in the pocket that ensues. That with those two things would go hand in hand, like panic in the pocket and then decision making. But when throwing the ball to Marv yesterday, I thought those throws were pretty much on target. And Marvin Harrison Jr. just has to do a better job in the future because he's going to be facing the top cornerbacks in the league probably for the rest of his career. people talking about, well, Marv and Kylo need to get on the same page. They do, and they can do that in the off season, but they also have 3 games here to do that, and you want to see that. And I think that's going to go a long way. Because yeah, you have to build your team through the draft. Those teams you talked about, I mean, granted, Detroit, Jared Goff was a guy that they had gotten from the Rams. So, everybody does it a different way with their quarterback, but building through the draft is your most sustainable way to build a team. But I will say 7-7 though, Brad, again, I go back to this. It shows you that there are parts to this team that are much improved.
I agree,
Um,
Jody. I agree with that, but I don't know if the quarterback's going to be here next year. So well, they're going to get together and work harder in the off season. I don't know that. I
well,
don't
I think
know
there's
that
a good chance he could be though, Brad. He could be here at least another year based on the contract
contract.
and based on it's not just the contract. I think there is a belief that continuing to work with him, he will get even better. And I know when you talk about year 7, next year will be year 7.
Right?
I mean, he's 27 years old now. There's a lot of frustration in how did this not happen quicker, but it's possible he could be a late bloomer.
I will let you go off of that. Thanks for your time. That's Jody Jackson, Jody's Gems, brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good, Brad. Thank you.